Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. I hope that you had a fantastic 2025, which means tomorrow is New Year's, and that's just kind of a crazy thing to say. So might as well make this video right now. Okay, so when I look back at 2025 and saw what was my actual favorite game, now we just recently covered all of the Nintendo games or the Nintendo Switch 2 games of the year. But what about every other game? What truly is the game of the year? Now you probably looked at this thumbnail and you're like, what the heck? But for me personally, I think it's Kirby Air Riders. This game had so much to offer for me, it was just a fun packaging of essentially the original game, giving you a spin on something that you definitely didn't know ever existed again. But overall, it is truly fantastic. Going from the racing mode to just being able to play online, the quick connectivity is truly special. You just want to sit there and have a great time. Every single race felt like a different race. It wasn't something like Mario Kart World. Now, of course, every single race is essentially on the same map, and they will feel a little bit different because some things might be out of place, other things might be slashed a couple times, and then you're ended up in the back. But all of these things really gave me that fun experience. You know when you sit there and you got your brand new game, you put it in, you got a giant smile on your face, or it's a game that you've been waiting for so long. This is sort of that, but I haven't ever waited for Kirby Air Riders. In fact, I honestly thought that this was the first game because I didn't know that there was a GameCube variant of this game. So this was really a shock to how much fun I had playing Kirby Air Riders. And it's not just the race mode. Sure, the race mode is really great and really well polished and fleshed out with full of bundle of joy. But there's also other modes that give you that giant smile on your face waiting to see what's next. City Trials. Now, oh boy, playing through this was honestly really awesome. Heck, even on Christmas Eve, or should we say Christmas morning, I was smashing through a whole bunch of city trials because I just couldn't wait to see what's next. And it's honestly really awesome. Also, I kind of couldn't sleep, but still, the point being, it was great. And I think that really makes a fantastic game. If you could just get up, play it whenever you can. Now, of course, any single video game, you can play whenever you want. But this one felt different. It felt like there was a unique challenge to be had. Like, I don't have any gameplay footage, but there is still city trials in the background. When I was playing this in Christmas Eve or Christmas morning, whatever you want to call it, I felt that rush. There was a little tournament going on, and it was so cool. So you jump in the city trial, and you had a fun time, but you get different points for different badges. It's kind of like a rank mode for pretty much any other game, but this one gave you some more Christmassy Santa stuff. It was super awesome. But not going just off of that. Speaking on Christmas, the background had a Christmassy little ribbon, which was so adorable. And going into the padlock, you saw just Christmas joy, which is so adorable to actually say. This is really cool. And I thought it was really cool. I thought that there was definitely so much to offer here, and it's just the short little details that I found really cool. Now, I don't want to gush and grannies over just the game. I've already done that like 3 times. But it's true. It's a masterpiece at heart. I think that it definitely is my game of the year, and I can't wait to see what is next for 2026. Now, also, one of the big things that I really enjoyed is it took one of the mechanics from my favorite game ever, probably, and repackaged it in a different way. So what I'm really talking about here is the Forza Horizon customization, where you're able to go to the Horizon Festival and customize your car. Well, this time around, you can just straight up customize your car. You can buy the car, or you can make it and then sell it, because there's a lot of things that you could sell. Like the GameCube one is one of the most popular ones. I saw a Korok at some point. Overall, it is really awesome to see that. I'm not quite sure how that works because no one cared to buy my cars. So yeah, I couldn't tell you how that worked. But overall, it is so cool. It's really awesome to see something like that in games. And I hope that more and more games get some player customization where you can share over your carts and things that you made. Mario Kart would have been really cool to have that, and I feel like they definitely wouldn't do that because then people would put SpongeBob in Mario Kart and then Patrick Star and a whole bunch of things. But it was cool. It was really, really cool to see something like that. And also, just the fun little goofy gimmicks that the game also offers is really, really creative and fun. You know, you want to see stuff like that. You want to see some unlockability. So instead of jumping into the game and already owning every single thing, you play the game to unlock more and more things. Now, you might not like that because maybe you're just a person that wants to have everything off the back. And that's completely okay. But what I will say, for me, I think it was just great, just unlocking every single thing. Now, we can't say unlocking every single thing without jumping into the main unlockability, the story mode. Now, the story mode was so awesome. Like, honestly, I can't tell you how many times I did that story mode over and over again. Now, it's not essentially like a roguelike, because with roguelikes, they change up the path. But once you do it, you know, okay, I have to go here, 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 and you get the power-ups that you want. I still found it really fun because I wanted to beat my recent score. So let's just say that I went down to the city trial in one of the game modes and I beat it within 30 seconds. I always wanted to beat it under 30 seconds, so 29 seconds, 25 seconds, that would be a big score up. And overall, it was just something truly special. It was just the greatest thing. And the story mode itself, not just the gameplay where you go from one checkpoint to the next checkpoint to the next checkpoint. The story mode itself was honestly really cool. Like, it reminded me a lot about my other favorite games. I know I have a lot of favorite games, but this is probably going to join the pile of favorite games. Skylanders. Now, if you don't remember, we had two essentially Skylander games that represent this game pretty well. Now, the first one is, of course, Skylander Superchargers because of the vehicles. And the second one is Skylander Swap Force because you can straight up swap things. Now, I would also say Skylander Spyro's Adventure because it pretty much took the original trailer and then just repackaged it in a sort of way. So overall, it really gave me that vibe of, yes, I'm finally playing my favorite game once again. I feel so great. And going into the story, you start off with like finding the machine that's taking over the world. Like, it's actually taking over the world, which is kind of crazy. You got a whole bunch of little machines that are gain power sort of thing, and then there's a big bad guy, but he seems like a bad guy, but he's not really a bad guy. He's sort of like the King Jewel of all machines, which is a really cool story. It's honestly really cool. And then eventually you see all the legendary stars and you see a tiger that's like, you know, galloping away. It's just honestly an awesome thing to see. I really love that idea of, you know, Kirby game as a whole. It brings me so much joy to see something like that. But overall, the creativity, the customization, the gameplay itself is just so much fun. It's just to sort of shut your brain off, sit there, go to bed, play the game. It doesn't really keep you wide awake because you don't have to focus, you don't have to sweat, you don't have to, win, because who cares? If you lose, you still get a prize. If you win, you get more gummies. Like, it's up to you. Like, makes you feel really great about it, and I think that's great. Like, it's honestly really, really great. Anyways, what are your thoughts about this game? Do you think that it's a good game? Do you think that it's a bad game? Do you think it's going to join your pile of favorite games? Because I will tell you right now, my favorite games of all time, this is going to be really hard to say. Okay, my probably 50 favorite games of all time is Skylanders, Forza Horizon, probably some Nintendo games, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, we're gonna have to be making a whole new video about this. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you had a fantastic 2025. And, you know, tomorrow is 2020, which is a crazy thing to say. But, yeah. Thank you so much. Consider to hit the like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. Hey, if you've been waiting all of 2025 to hit the subscribe button, maybe now's the time to do it. Maybe now's the time to hit that subscribe button. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content here. Usually news, but sometimes we like to throw in some little bit of tinkering. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. And with that being said, see you next year. Adios, amigos.